Hello everyone. Today's topic is on general embryology. Under general embryology, today we would discuss on the trilaminar germ disc, neural crust cells and development of notochord. So here is the image. It is a schematic view of trilaminar germ disc where we can see the formation of all three germ layers. So formation of three germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, is called as gastrulation. So the process of formation of three germ layers is called as gastrulation, where the bilaminar germ disc turns to form trilaminar germ disc during third week of intrauterine life. So here we can see the central tube-like structure, which is called as neural tube, and just below the neural tube, the solid cord of cells, what we see here is the notochord, which is a transient structure, and on each side of the neural tube dorsally we can appreciate the neural crust cells. And we can also see the three germ layers, ectoderm, which is represents in blue color here, and the dotted one is the intraembryonic mesoderm, and the peripherally intraembryonic continues with the extraembryonic mesoderm, and we can also appreciate the endoderm, which is purple in color. The cavity above the ectoderm, where the ectoderm forms the floor of a cavity called as amniotic cavity, which contains amniotic fluid. The cavity which is present below the endoderm, where the endoderm here forms the Hauser's membrane and endoderm forms the roof of yolk sac cavity. So this is the yolk sac cavity which is present below the endoderm. So the section is taken coronally just to expose the three germ layers. So let's see the fate of trilaminar germ disc, where we would see what each germ layer gives rise to. So here is the overview where the ectoderm gives rise to epidermis of the skin. So not only the epidermis, even the appendages of the skin and iris of the eye are all derived from the ectoderm. And intraembryonic mesoderm forms the bones, cartilages and muscles. So all the muscles are derived from the intraembryonic mesoderm. And endoderm forms the lining of gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, urinary tract and etc. So all the lining, epithelial lining is derived from the endoderm mainly. Neural tube, it forms the CNS, central nervous system. Neural tube itself is derived from the neuroectoderm. So it is derived from the ectoderm, which forms the central nervous system, that is the brain and spinal cord. Neural crust cells form the ganglia, meninges and dentine, etc. So the neural crust cells which are present dorsally on each side of the neural tube forms the ganglia, that is the dorsal root ganglia, autonomic ganglia, and that is autonomic means the sympathetic and parasympathetic ganglia, and also the meninges, that is especially the pachymenins, which is repeat. Neural crust cells forms the ganglia and also the meninges. So the ganglia, which includes the autonomic ganglia are sympathetic and parasympathetic ganglia, and it also derives to form dorsal root ganglia, which are the sensory ganglia. Meninges, especially the leptomeninges. Leptomeninges are arachnoid matter and pia matter together called as leptomeninges, and outer one, the dura mater, is pachymenins. So leptomeninges are also from the neural crust cells. Dentine of teeth are derived from the neural crust cells, and most of the peripheral nervous system, PNS, is completely derived from the neural crust cells. And neural crust cells also derives to form head and neck region, most of the connective tissue of head and neck region, muscles of the pharyngeal arch and so on. So which we would discuss little later separately, because the neural crust cells, it is almost like the fourth germ layer. Notochord, which is a transient structure, and its remnants to form the apical ligament of Duns and nucleus pulposus. So these are the remnants what you see in adults. So we saw the trilaminar germ disc containing ecto, endo and mesoderm. Between the ecto and endoderm, in the midline, we also saw the notochord and neural tube. So above the notochord is the neural tube present. Dorsolaterally to the neural tube are the neural crust cells. Trilaminar germ disc. Trilaminar germ disc, that is intraembryonic mesoderm, it develops from the primitive streak which appears during on 15th day of gestation on the caudal side of the embryo, and because of the appearance of primitive streak we can give craniocaudal access to the embryo. And this intraembryonic mesoderm is divided into paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm and lateral plate mesoderm. Paraxial mesoderm derives to form somites, which further divides to form dermatome, sclerotome and myotome. Dermatome forms the dermis, sclerotome forms the vertebral column and myotome forms the skeletal muscles. Intermediate mesoderm forms mainly urogenital tract. So urinary system as well as genital system are derived from the intermediate mesoderm. Lateral plate mesoderm further divides into splanchnopluric and somatopleuric lateral plate mesoderm. Splanchnopluric gives rise to the smooth muscles of the visceral organs. Somatopleuric gives rise to the muscles of the body wall. And splanchnopluric gives rise to visceral layers like visceral peritoneum, visceral pericardium, visceral pleura. Whereas the somatopleuric gives rise to parietal layers, means parietal pericardium, parietal layer of the peritoneum and parietal layer of the pleura and so on. So I said paraxial mesoderm gives rise to somites. There are around 34 to 35 somites which develop, and somites are divided into dermatome, sclerotome and myotome. Dermatome forms the dermis of the skin, sclerotome forms the vertebra and the ribs, and myotome forms the skeletal muscles. So that was about the trilaminar germ disc. Let's go with the neural crust cells, derivative of neural crust cells. As we know, the neural crust cells is like a fourth germ layer because it gives rise to so many structures in our body. So here is a schematic image showing the derivatives of neural crust cells. So here is the neural tube. This is the neural tube. And these are the neural crust cells. And here in this image, we can see the development of parasympathetic ganglia, which is like ciliary ganglion to the eyeball, submandibular ganglion to submandibular gland, otic ganglion to parotid gland, and there are other ganglions like pterygopalatine ganglion. So all parasympathetic ganglion are derived from the neural crust cells. On the other side, we can see the sympathetic ganglion forming sympathetic chain. And here are the sensory ganglion or dorsal root ganglion, which are present along the dorsal root of the spinal nerves. Adrenal medulla. So in the image we can also appreciate adrenal medulla, which is the center part of the adrenal gland or suprarenal gland derived from the neural crust cells. And here is the aorta. And we can see the ganglion which are associated with the aorta called as para-aortic ganglion. So in this image, these are the things we can appreciate. Apart from these things, even the pia mater and arachnoid matter, which are together called as leptomeninges. So the leptomeninges, dentine of teeth, sensory ganglion of the cranial nerves are derived from the neural crust cells, dorsal root ganglion, sympathetic and parasympathetic, adrenal medulla, para-aortic ganglion, and also mainly the mesoderm of the pharyngeal arches. That is the mesodermal component, intraembryonic mesoderm of the pharyngeal arches, and tracheoesophageal septum. So most of the septa in the body are from the neural crust cells. Tracheoesophageal septum separates the trachea from the esophagus. Urorectal septum, which separates the urinary sinus from the primitive rectum, that is called urorectal septum. Aorticopulmonary septum, which separates the aorta from the pulmonary trunk. And most of the connective tissue of the head and neck are derived from the neural. So most of the neural crest cells and even complete peripheral nervous system PNS is derived from the neural crest cells. So these are the derivatives of neural crest cells. So next we shall move on with the development of notochord. So here is a schematic image where it is a sagittal section of the embryo showing the development of notochord. So notochord, as we discussed earlier, it is a temporary structure. It is a transient structure which is developed in the germ disc. So it is present in the midline between ecto and endoderm. So here is the image, a sagittal section of the embryo. This is amniotic cavity. This is yolk sac cavity. And the red one is the neural tube with three bubbles like structures which are called as vesicles, primary vesicles of the neural tube. And we can see the primitive streak on the caudal end of the embryo. So here is the connecting stalk. This is septum transversum, which is present on the cranial end of the embryo. Later, due to the folding of the embryo, septum transversum shifts ventrally. And we can see the notochord. First notochord is the primitive notochord which develops, and it develops from the primitive streak, where the cranial part of the primitive streak is called as primitive node, which invaginates to form a notochordal canal. So it is like a tube-like structure having a lumen which is called as primitive notochord. Further we can see between the amniotic cavity and yolk sac cavity, we can see a communication here by disintegration of the notochord. So the basal plate of the notochord will get disintegrated, where we can see a communication between the amniotic cavity and yolk sac cavity, which is called as neuroenteric canal. So it is a temporary canal which provides the communication between these two. Further we can see the primitive streak grows as a solid cord of cells without any lumen, which is termed as definitive notochord. So here we can discuss, it is a temporary structure developed in the germ disc, and it is present in the midline between ecto and endoderm, and mesoderm on the either side it is present. In coronal section we can appreciate all the three, just we saw little before in trilaminar germ disc. And this notochord, it extends from the procaudal plate to the cranial end of primitive streak. So anterior end it reaches till the procaudal plate, which contains a bilaminar buccopharyngeal membrane, and caudally till the cranial end of primitive streak. And it is formed by the proliferation of primitive node or primitive knot. And this primitive node is mainly under the control of nodal genes. So the nodal genes control the development of notochord. And cells migrate from the primitive pit between the ecto and endoderm. So the blue one, this is the ectoderm, and here is the endoderm. So here I'll show. Endoderm, and between the ecto and endoderm it is present, and we can also appreciate the notochordal canal in the first image. This is the first image, second, third. Notochordal canal is a part of primitive notochord, and where the floor of the canal and the underlying endoderm break down to develop neuroenteric canal, and the floor reappears. The cells proliferate to form the solid cord, that is the definitive notochord, and we know the fate of the notochord, it disappears. And the remnants in adults are apical ligament of Duns and nucleus pulposus, which is the center part of intervertebral disc. And suppose if the notochord is remained in the body, that is the persistence of the notochord results in tumors called as chordomas. So the chordomas are the remnants of notochords even after birth, and this has to be surgically removed. So this completes the development of notochord. So today we discussed three embryology charts, that is trilaminar germ disc, derivatives of neural crest cells, and development of notochord. Further we would see with the other embryology charts in upcoming sessions. Thank you.